So you want to create your African folktale channel and you are thinking of how to go about creating that video and putting out that story. You are in luck because I'm going to be telling you all what you need to do, and best believe they are free. Like you can access it wherever you are, whatever phone you are using. So far you have a phone and internet. So without further ado, let's dive right into the video. Aroma of egusi soup floated 3 compounds down. She closed exactly at 10 p.m. no matter who was standing in front of her. You're still peeling vegetable after all the cooking today. People dragged her out of the tent. Others stormed into her stall and overturned her pot. So yes, I have an African folktale channel where I upload stories, and this is a very nice thing to do because it's a way to bring your creativity to life. So what is the first thing you need to have in mind when you want to create that story? Number one is to have a script or whatever idea. It doesn't have to be like a title. It can be like an idea of story that you want to create a story about. Just be writing them down because you need them one day. The way I do it is whenever I watch any story or I hear conversation or I see any news, a scene will come to my head and I'll be like, I think I can coin this scene to create a story, or I think I can make this story that I just heard or this news that I just heard and turn it into a story. So I write it down. Any way it comes to my head, I just write it down. So whenever I need to, like, oh, I want to create this story, when I read it, I know what I want to do. So first thing first, have that story in your head or the idea in your head. That's like the title. So the next thing to do is to go to ChatGPT or whatever similar app that is like ChatGPT that you can use. I use ChatGPT and I'll tell you what you can do with it. You already have your story. So now let's think about let me see this story that I uploaded. Hold on. So this story I uploaded last on my channel is you won't believe what happened to this woman. Everyone needs to watch this. And it's about a food seller that, you know, sells food. And at a point, she sold food to some club members and they all died. So the story is really nice. And when I had the idea in my head, I heard a story on TikTok about someone saying a life history about someone regarding, a food seller. And I was like, that's a good story point. So I wrote it down. So bear in mind, I already heard that story somewhere else. So when I went to ChatGPT, I did not just say, "Oh, give me a story about a food seller that killed some club members or something like that." I did not say that. What I do or what I usually do is I'll use the voice note part of ChatGPT where you can send your voice notes. I toggle it on and I start explaining. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done explaining how long the paragraph is or the summary is. It is like I'm saying the whole story to ChatGPT. But before I start, I say I want an African story. It should be nothing less than 2,500 words. It should be in parts. It should be in, I can mention it to be in 4 parts or different parts. I'll just say it should be in parts, and each part should be nothing less than 2,500 words. I want it to be based in Nigeria or whatever country, or if it's Nigeria, I want it to be based in Lagos or whatever state I want. I want it to have Nigerian vibe. When I say Nigerian vibe, it usually brings pidgin or add our Nigerian slangs to it. I'll say Nigerian vibe. I don't want you to do too much description. I want you to go into the action. When I say that, there is less of in a beautiful town where the rivers go through the Kinikon and the mountains were green as I don't want that. Go into the story. So I say I don't want too much description. Go into the action. Then I say make it interesting, make it captivating, and maybe towards the end I say please do your best and stick to the story because I'll at the point when you are generating your stories, ChatGPT can deviate from your script totally. So you need to keep reminding ChatGPT that please follow the storyline. So when I write that and I go into the story, okay, it's about a food seller. She's very nice. She's very this and that. I talk about what she is. Oh, this is the next scene. I might not exactly say, oh, this is the next scene. I'll just say she sells food. She's very nice. She has a friend. or she does not have a husband, and but she's very strict, and so, until one day her friend said, oh, please bring my let my daughter join you. I would tell ChatGPT everything, and then I'll end it with thank you, or I'll end it with please stick to the story and stuff like that. So when I'm done, the chat will be very long, and that's why I use voice note, because when I type it, it will be too tedious, it will be stressful. But when I use voice note, I wait for it to transcribe it, to write it out. Sometimes I go through it to adjust some mistakes I've made, and then I send it, and ChatGPT will just start. It will give me the first part, and when I'm fine with it, I don't see any reason to change it, or I need to change it. I'll tell it to change maybe the name, or I'll do this and that. If I'm fine with it, I'll say proceed. It will proceed to the next storyline. And if I see that it is already deviating from the storyline I gave it, I'll say, please, can we, stick to the storyline? It is always difficult most times, because people will say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll stick to the storyline, and it will not still stick to the storyline. And if it sticks to the story, I go with it. If it doesn't, I copy it and I adjust it myself. Yes, you have to do the work. So when I'm done with that, the next step is to what? To create a voiceover for the story. So I would not say, oh, use AI, because now you have to be careful about, because our videos are already like AI generated. Do you get the images and all of that? So you don't want every of your video to be AI. So what our advice is to do voice notes, and you need to read the story, or you get AI to read the story. But since I'm doing it myself, we're going to be focusing on you making voiceover for your story. So how I do it is I use an iPhone, and there's something called voice memo on your iPhone. It is a recording app. So the way it works is it can work at the background. So you can open the app, start your recording, leave the app, don't swipe away, just leave the app, go to where your note is, where you've written your story, and start reading it. It will be recording at the background. When you are done, you rename it, or you title it, and then you are done with that. If you are not using iPhone, maybe you're using Android, you can always get a recording app. Just make sure you are able to share your recording to, a third party app. That's your editing app, because you need it. If you are not able to do that, just go straight to your editing app and go to your voiceover part and record the video. You just have to make sure you are not deleting it by mistake, because it making you delete it by mistake, you don't have where you can take it from and share it back. But if you have a third party app, it's easy to share. Whenever you lost it, you can always go back to take it. But when you are doing the recording on the editing app, you have to be careful, because it happened to me. I did a recording one time, and I mistakenly deleted it. I don't know why. I deleted it, and everything just went off. I had to start all over. So that's what you do if you don't have a recording app. So the next is to generate your image. So once you are done with your recording, or even before you are done with your voiceover, once you are fine with the story ChatGPT has generated for you, you do what? You tell it to create prompts that you can use to do what? To generate images from Bing AI or whatever app you are going to be using. It should give you prompt for each scene or action. If you tell it to just give you prompts, it should give you prompts for each for the scenes that it believes are the most dramatic scene. You don't want that. You want like images for each scene, so you'll be able to show as much image as possible. So tell it you want images for each scene, like you want prompts for each scene, and then it will give you to start from part one, part two, how many parts, whichever part your story has, it will give it to you. And then you go to the next thing, which is generating images. And what do you do? I use Bing AI, I use ChatGPT, and currently I've been using Gemini. So for ChatGPT, it is limited if you are not, subscribed. So I think 4 images per day. So I don't really use it. It's just when I need the image very fast, I just tell it to give it to me. The one I use majority of the time is Bing AI, but Bing AI has been frustrating because they are always limiting the type of image you can create. So you cannot create something gory or something dramatic. It will give you something else, or it should not even generate it. That is not to say Gemini does that, but I was like, let me just try another app. And recently I've been trying to use pixel style instead of the normal, photorealistic images. I've been using pixel style and I've been loving it. When you go to any of those apps, ChatGPT, Bing AI, Gemini, you do what? You copy those prompts. They already told you to, generate using ChatGPT. You copy them one by one and you paste it on the app. For Gemini, you can actually tell it you want 16:9. That's the layout for YouTube, the landscape style. For Bing AI, you can only do portrait mode. So that's like what is making me lean towards Gemini nowadays. So you can tell it you want, 16:9. That's the landscape YouTube style. You can tell it the kind of style you want. Do you want it photorealistic? Do you want it cinematic? Do you want it 8K? So when you are done with the prompt, like when you've pasted the prompt, before you click on generate, write pixel style or photorealistic, cinematic, 8K, village setting, African clothes, because your prompt might not bring that. But if you want it to be like a specific thing, you want it to have some specific things, you can add it to it. So those are the things you can add to it. For Gemini, you can add 16:9. You can't do that for Bing AI. It's not going to give you any landscape. It will give you portrait. But you can always tell Bing AI cinematic, photorealistic. When you put photorealistic, cinematic, 8K, intricate details, the image is going to come out sharper. It will look very crisp and nice. So those are the, you know what they call adjective you are supposed to be giving. Like give it very nice adjective, a very caramel skin tone, a very light face. Just, you know make it spicy so your image will come out really beautiful. Do you get what I'm saying? Then you generate and get your images. The last thing is you take those images and go to your editing app. I use InShot because it's very easy to use, it's beginner friendly and not complicated at all. You upload the first image and you go to duration, put it in like 1.5. So it will be very long. The duration is to make it very long because you want to import your audio. You get what I'm saying? Don't upload all the images at once. Upload just one, then increase the duration and then import your voiceover from the memo app or from the recording app you have, or on InShot. If you already recorded your voiceover on the editing app, what you just need to do is you'll have taken, before you can even record a voiceover, you'll have done what I'm just saying now. You'll have uploaded maybe a random image, put it in a very long duration, equivalent to your voiceover, and then do your voiceover. You hold it there, generate your image, and replace that image. So once you have just one image and you've imported what they call it, the voiceover, then you start editing. You start removing, redundant, you start removing pauses, you start removing unnecessary things that's redundant, and you start adjusting. So it will be reducing definitely because you are deleting and all of that. So as you are moving from one scene to another, then you can now be, putting split, adding the image. Is that image that will not be there till the end. When you are done with that image, that's you are done with that scene, put a split, put the next image. Do you get that way? As you're editing and you're going to the next scene, you are adding that images. So you don't do that when you are done. You can actually do that when you are done editing the voiceover, or you can do it as you are editing the voiceover, so it will be faster. So when you're done with everything, do well to watch from beginning to the end, because I have a lot of videos where I made mistake because it's either I was tired when I was editing it or I was sleepy, and there are some parts I repeated like 3 times or 2 times, or there was like an obvious mistake where I did not delete because I did not go back to watch it again. So you go back to watch it, make sure there's no mistake, and then you export it. You can export it in 720, you can export it in 1080, 2K, 4K, whatever, and then you upload and give it your title, add your hashtag and all of that, and you are ready to go. So I hope you're able to get all what I've been saying, because this is what I do to create my African stories. And yeah, you can as well do that. And if you want me to, talk more on some parts, you can just let me know in the comment down below and I'll be happy to do that for you. So if you're able to learn a lot from this video, please do well to like, share, subscribe, turn on your post notification bell to get notified when next I post any new video. See you guys in my next video. Bye.